Hi, welcome to Hort Science Online. My name is Sam Rivers, Technical Area Sales Manager for ICL. Today, I'm going to be talking to you about application planning with a specific focus on vine weevil. So before we get into it, let's talk about a bit more about the changing environment in the horticulture industry. And growers are facing new challenges which will require them to change the way they approach plant health, vigor, pest and disease control, along with growing media choice. And this is down to many products being withdrawn from use or had their use restricted, meaning control options for a lot of problems encountered are becoming tougher and more difficult to find. And many of these alternatives often require more detailed knowledge on their use and understanding of the problem. Now, the driver of this change has been the Sustainable Use Directive. And this is now changing the way we operate on the nursery by implementing new regulations, which are designed to promote environmentally responsible and sustainable use of plant protection products. The Sustainable Use Directive is now law in the UK and throughout Europe, and all growers are expected to follow the various protocols within the legislation, which relate to promoting a safer, more sustainable way of crop production across horticulture and agriculture alike. Now, growers embracing these changes at the earliest opportunity are going to be better equipped for the future to adapt to the new crop protection techniques required going forward. Trialing products, gaining advice from industry professionals, attending seminars, trade shows, things such as Hort Science Online, all helps build this knowledge base going forward and help optimize success for the future. Now, going into a bit of a case study on like a recent example of a change is the withdrawal of Exempta or thiacloprid, a neonicotinoid-based insecticide used to control black vine weevil. And this was really the last chemical control against vine weevil. It was handily incorporated into growing media, or it could be bought off the shelf. So it saved a lot of time and it was convenient for a lot of growers. Um, but since this has been withdrawn, there's now been a lot of control options. There was a lack of control options for vine weevil, and the current existing control options are based on cultural and biological methods. ICL have done a lot of work on a protect range, focusing on black vine weevil. Um, and a lot of these products they require a bit more knowledge on how to apply them and an understanding of the pest life cycle. So that's really where we want to talk a little bit more about today in that timing of application and building some principles around rebuilding an IPM plan. So, like say, rebuilding a new program for control. Most growers who we having black vine weevil may have used nematodes in the past, or, for example, or they've been using Exempta. So those of you who have using Exempta were kind of left with a gap in the market. So you have to rebuild this program to stop the pest from causing more damage on your nursery than you want. And this is going to be about understanding the problem you're looking to control and gather as much information as possible. And this can include things such as the pest life cycle. Understanding that's going to be really crucial to how you apply certain control products. And then you have the past history of pests, diseases, any problems you might encounter in the nursery, emergence records for specific pests, crop types which might be more susceptible than others. And understanding the options you have regarding control, which again, under the Sustainable Use Directive, should always begin with the most sustainable option first. And the hierarchy of control under the Sustainable Use Directive is always start with the cultural control, so like hygiene, monitoring, and then build yourself up to like the chemical approach should be the absolute last resort. Now we go into a bit of a case study. We can talk about vine weevil, which is what I want to focus on because there's a lot of misinformation out there. There's a lot of opinions on how to best control this, and we just want to go on like, and it's really down to an individual nursery on making the best control plan for your production system. So we can look at the life cycle of the pest, so we can gain a lot more information about that. So the picture below shows that the black vine weevil life cycle in outdoor scenarios. So you can see the egg stage, on this picture is showing it's present from June to July, and then you go down to the larval stage, which is present most of the year round, and then the pupae stage, which is kind of like a late larval stage. That's present from like mid to late spring, and then we go into the adult stage, which can be present, from late spring throughout the summer. But this will be different for different situations and up and down the country. All of the life cycle stages, for instance, can be present in a heated glasshouse year round. We might look back to this year, 2021, where the adult emergence was actually a bit later because April was so frosty every night. The temperatures weren't conducive to a regular emergence, and this is where understanding your production system, understanding like your emergence records, like from the past history, and creating regular monitoring, records as well. It's all going to help you build up this plan, and targeting susceptible crops might be a good focus for that. So we can look at that information, and then we can look at the control options that we actually have available for vine weevil. Um, Again, driving home the sustainable use directive, we can look at cultural control. So we can look at hygiene, removing weeds and debris where the vine weevil adults can perhaps, um, they can settle there. We can look at plant sourcing, so any bought in stock, you can lift a plant out of a pot and check for any larval signs, and building that monitoring into your strategy. It's all going to help you make decisions, and those past records like the emergence. It's all going to help you make decisions on when best to apply the products to control this pest. Um, so we can look at ICL's protect range as some biological control methods. Currently, we have larval control options with nematodes. So we have the vine weevil seeker, which is based on the beneficial nematode Heteroheptites bacteriophora. And this works down to 12 degrees C in the growing media. And it needs to be noted that air temperature is not the same as growing media temperature. So um, we've got data loggers, as in ICL, up and down the country on different nurseries, so we can give accurate information on what the growing media temperatures are like in certain situations. So we can give advice on when best to apply these products. Now the vine weevil seeker works down to 12 degrees C, so you can go back to your life cycle and understand, oh, actually, well, 12 degrees C is going to be maybe late spring throughout the summer, so that's going to be the best time to apply these products. And then we have the next nematode option we have is the vine weevil seeker CT, or cold tolerance, and this is based on the beneficial nematode Steinonema kraussei. Now this works down to 5 degrees C in the growing media, so we have a bit more extended control in the season where the normal vine weevil seeker wouldn't be able to survive. Now we recommend applying nematodes every 6 to 8 weeks, because that's how long they will survive without any host present. So it's always good to have a base there in case there isn't any pest present, but it might migrate into your nursery from elsewhere within that time frame. So it's always good to reapply every 6 to 8 weeks. So the next option we have is looking at the egg stage of vine weevil, and this is our garlic-based extract product, Pitcher GR, and this is a granular-based application, and this lasts for 6 weeks. So again, we can look at the life cycle stage from the previous slides, and deduce the best time to apply this product. We have to bear in mind that it will only last for 6 weeks, and you can only have one application at the full rate, but you are allowed two applications at the half rate. So you can build your plan accordingly to that. It needs to be noted that it cannot be used in conjunction with nematodes, as it is a nematicide as well. So it will, you have to plan accordingly with the timings of your application. Um, so there's no physical or chemical control option currently registered for use against vine weevil. So these really are your options available. There are other products that you can use, but that's the focus of the ICL Protect range. So going on a little bit more, we can apply all those principles that we've gathered. I could go into this a little bit more detail, but I really want to keep this as simple as possible, so everyone can understand just the really basic concepts of this. Because there are entire lectures that go on for hours that you could use, and this is intended to just give you a bite-sized bit of information and something to think about as well. So we can build a plan. You can start to see how we can build this plan around the information gathered and the products utilized. So we know that vine weevil eggs are typically laid outdoors from April throughout summer. So that's a good time to look at using the pitcher granule according to label recommendations. Um, and of course, this is going to be different for different nurseries. It's going to be different for different situations. So this is where you can speak to your ICL technical area sales manager, and we'll be able to give you the best advice that's suited to your nursery. Um, so then we can look at the larval stages. So we know we've got the nematode products to help control this, but we know they can be present year round, but there's limitations on their use. So we can say, well, Seeker can be used when the growing media temperatures are above 12 degrees C, or we've got the Seeker cold tolerance, which can be used when growing media temperatures are below 5 degrees C. So you can start to build those products into, the temperatures, the timing of year. We can use the data log or information we have to really give you a really good strategy going forward and optimizing that control strategy. And of course, remembering that, building these control strategies that pitcher and our nematode range are not compatible. So to keep things slightly simpler, ICL have developed a plant health planner, which is an online plan. I have done another video in the Hort Science Online, program that gives a bit. I do a bit more of a practical demo, just a live video of how this would be better utilized. But ultimately, this just enables growers to build products into an IPM plan to help with organization and optimize the timing of applications. Um, Now, while it's very useful, we have to note that it shouldn't be adhered to strictly because, as you know, in the horticulture industry, we're very dependent on the climate being in our favor a lot of the time. So that's where the regular monitoring, the advice, and the emergence records, that's going to be really key. To help control these pests forward. But the plant health planner is designed to give you a good basis of when you want to use these products on your nursery. Now, just to summarize, just to get the main points across here, it's understanding the life cycle of the problem you're looking to solve, and whether this be vine weevil, aphids, like a powdery mildew. It's just understanding the conditions which cause these problems, and identifying the best strategies to deal with them, and understanding the products used. To maximize the success you have. And of course, you want to apply the principles of the Sustainable Use Directive, starting with the cultural control first and ending at the very last resort being the chemical control. Um, and yeah, finally, just speaking to your local ICL technical sales manager for advice. We're always happy to help. And we have a lot of data that we can share with you that's going to help you build robust plans on your nursery and ensure success for the future. So thank you very much for listening. I hope you have a good day.